When a narcissist realizes he refuses to be controlled, there is a quiet power in a person who has finally said enough. Not loudly, not with drama, but with a calm heart that no longer begs for approval. When a narcissist realizes he refuses to be controlled, something shifts in the air. The same person who once tried to bend you begins to feel the ground slipping beneath their feet. As the proverb says, when the slave learns to read, the chains fall off. Your awareness becomes your freedom. Your silence becomes your strength. And suddenly the game they once mastered no longer works. At first, they are confused. A narcissist thrives on reactions, your tears, your explanations, your need to be understood. But now, you are still, you are calm. You no longer argue to prove your worth. It is like pouring water on fire. The flames that once roared begin to weaken. There is a saying, do not wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty, but the pig enjoys it. When you step out of the fight, you take away their playground. They don't understand it immediately because control was their language and you have stopped speaking it. I once heard a story about a man who kept a bird in a golden cage. He fed it well, spoke sweetly to it, and admired how it sang. But one day the bird stopped singing. It sat quietly, watching the sky. The man tried everything, new food, softer words, even anger, but nothing worked. Then one morning he forgot to lock the cage. The bird did not rush out, it simply looked at the open door and realized something powerful. It had always been able to leave, it just didn't know. That day it flew, not in panic but in dignity. The man stood there, shocked. He had not lost the bird in that moment, he had lost control. A bird does not sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a voice. When you rediscover your voice, control loses its grip. When the narcissist sees this change, they often react in predictable ways. Sometimes they become nicer than ever before. They may shower you with attention, kindness, and promises. This is not always love. It is often strategy. As the wise say, the fisherman does not throw away the bait just because the fish swam away once. They hope to pull you back into the old pattern. They miss the version of you that was easier to manage, easier to predict, easier to control. But you are no longer that person. You have tasted freedom and it has changed you. Other times they become angry, very angry. Your independence feels like rejection to them. Your silence feels like disrespect. They may try to provoke you, to push your buttons, to make you react just one more time. Why? Because if you react, they feel powerful again. But remember this, he who angers you controls you. Every time you refuse to engage, you take your power back. It is not weakness to walk away, it is wisdom. Even a lion does not chase every barking dog. There's another story of a woman who lived with constant criticism. Every word she spoke was corrected, every choice questioned. One day she stopped explaining herself. When asked, why did you do this? She simply replied, because I chose to. At first the questions came harder, sharper, louder, but she remained calm. Over time, something strange happened. The questions became fewer. The critic grew tired. Why? Because control needs resistance to survive. Without resistance, it starves. You cannot clap with one hand. When you stop participating in the control, it begins to collapse. Deep down, the narcissist may feel something they rarely admit: fear. Your refusal to be controlled exposes a truth they try to hide. They are not as powerful as they believed. Your strength becomes a mirror reflecting their insecurity. This is why they may try to discredit you, to tell other stories, to paint you as difficult or ungrateful. But as the saying goes, truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going away. Your peace will speak louder than their words. There's also grief in this moment, not just for them, but for you. You may realize that the connection you hoped for was never real in the way you imagined. That can hurt deeply. Let it. Healing is not the absence of pain, it is the understanding of it. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Every tear you shed is not a sign of weakness, but a step towards clarity. You are not losing something valuable, you are releasing something heavy. When you refuse to be controlled, you begin to rebuild yourself. You learn to trust your own voice again. You learn that your worth is not measured by someone else's approval. You begin to see that love should not feel like a battlefield. Real love does not cage, it frees. It does not silence, it listens. It does not control, it respects. As the proverb says, if you love a flower, don't pick it up. Because if you pick it up, it dies. If you love it, let it be. And here's the truth many people don't tell you. Your refusal to be controlled will cost you something. It will cost you some relationships. Not everyone benefits from your growth. Some people were comfortable only when you were small, quiet, and easy to manage. But growth is not meant to please everyone. When you rise, some will fall away. Not because you changed for the worse, but because you grew beyond what they could handle. Do not shrink yourself to fit into spaces you have outgrown. In time, you will notice something beautiful. Your life becomes quieter, not empty, but peaceful. The chaos fades. The constant tension disappears. You no longer wake up wondering how to keep someone happy at the cost of yourself. You begin to live, truly live. Better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Peace is not loud, but it is powerful. And the narcissists, they may move on to someone else, someone new to try and control, or they may linger, watching from a distance, surprised that you did not break. But their journey is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is your own healing, your own growth, your own peace. So stand firm in your decision. Refusing to be controlled is not rebellion, it is self-respect. It is the moment you choose yourself, not out of pride, but out of truth. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. And now you stand for something, your dignity, your freedom, your worth. In the end, remember this, you did not lose control, you reclaimed your life, and that is a victory no one can take away. There comes a stage where your strength is no longer a reaction, it becomes your nature. You don't have to remind yourself every day to stay silent, to stay calm, or to stay grounded. It flows from you naturally. The same situations that once disturbed your peace now pass like wind. And this is when the narcissist truly realizes that they have lost access to you, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. As the proverb says, the door that wisdom closes, no noise can reopen. Your growth has shut doors that manipulation once walked through freely. At this point, something deeper happens. The narcissist may attempt one last effort, what many call a final pull. It may come as a message, a sudden apology, or even a crisis designed to gain your sympathy. They may say, I've changed or I need you. And this is where many people stumble, not because they are weak, but because they are human. Compassion is not your enemy, but misplaced compassion can become a chain. Remember the wise saying, do not set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You can care about someone and still refuse to be controlled by them. Let me share a story. There is a young man who once trained under a wise elder. Every day the elder would insult him, test him, provoke him. At first the young man reacted with anger, then he tried to defend himself. But over time, he learned to simply listen and walk away. One day, the elder stopped completely. Confused, the young man asked, why did you stop? The elder replied, because you finally understood that my words only had power when you accepted them. That is your lesson too. Control only works when it is received. When you stop receiving it, it has nowhere to land. There is also a spiritual layer to this journey. Many people describe it as awakening. Your eyes open, not just to the narcissist, but to yourself. You begin to question patterns. Why did I tolerate this? Why did I seek validation from someone who could not give it? And slowly, gentle, you forgive yourself. When you know better, you do better. Growth is not about blaming your past self. It is about honoring the lessons that shaped your present strength. Now, A narcissist builds their world on control, admiration, and emotional reactions. When you step out of that system, you disrupt their sense of identity. It is like removing a pillar from a house. The structure begins to shake. Your independence is not just inconvenient to them, it is threatening. As the proverb says, when the root is shaken, the tree trembles. You have shaken something deep within them. But here's the truth. Their reaction is not your responsibility. You are not here to maintain someone else's illusion at the cost of your reality. Emotional detachment does not mean you stop feeling. It means you stop being controlled by what you feel. You may still remember, still care, still feel pain, but you choose not to act from those emotions. This is maturity. This is strength. Think of it like this. A storm may rage outside, but inside your house, there's calm. The storm does not disappear. You simply stop standing in the rain. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Your refusal to be controlled is built on boundaries, and boundaries are not walls to punish others. They are doors that protect your peace. A boundary says, this is where I end and you begin. There is a powerful African proverb, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Many narcissists operate from unhealed wounds, constantly seeking validation. But understanding their pain does not mean accepting their behavior. You can have empathy without surrendering your boundaries. Now, there's the illusion of change. One of the most difficult parts of this journey is discerning real change from manipulation. Words are easy, promises are easy, but true change is consistent, patient, and quiet. By their fruits you shall know them, not by their words, not by their apologies, but by their actions over time. If the pattern remains the same, then nothing has changed, only the strategy. When you leave control behind, you may feel empty at first. This is normal. You're not losing yourself, you are discovering yourself. For a long time, your identity may have been shaped by someone else's expectations. Now you get to ask, who am I without this? What do I love? What do I value? This is a beautiful sacred process. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Be patient with yourself as you rebuild. Not all victories are loud. Some victories look like peace. Some look like silence. Some look like walking away without explaining yourself. There's a deep wisdom in this. Do not announce your moves before you make them. Your growth does not need validation. Your healing does not need an audience. The most powerful transformations often happen in silence. As you continue with your journey, carry this truth with you. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every explanation is necessary. And above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So, when a narcissist realizes he refuses to be controlled, it is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your freedom. You are no longer living in reaction. You are living in intention. You have stepped out of the cage, not in anger, but in awareness. And as another wise saying goes, once you awaken, you cannot go back to sleep. Walk forward in that truth. Your peace is your power. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Make sure you share this video widely to all those who may need it. Remember, knowledge is power, information is power, and learning is a superpower. Thank you.